Hey, what's up there, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer55551, and I am back with a My 2 Cent video for this week, for the week of April 24th to the 30th, where I take a look at a couple of stories, or gaming-related stories, and give you my thoughts and my opinion about them. And we got 4 to cover for this week, including Reggie speaking at SXSW. I think it's Southwest. I apologize if I'm not saying the name correctly, though. We also have reports about what was shown at Pax East 2022. We also have the NPD reports that have just came out, and it certainly, let's just say, it does sort of raise some questions about some of Sony's strategy in regards to the PS5 and the possibility they may have to rethink some stuff, though, and the possibility that Ubisoft may be open for acquisition and all. If you're interested in where I got the source of these information from my stories, though, links will be in the description down below, assuming you're watching this on YouTube. But before we get started, I like to do what I like to call the quick My 2 Cents, stories that kind of caught my attention, but I'm not going to go into a huge amount of detail. The first one is the reported that the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie has neared $300 million at the international box office. It's obviously that this movie has done extremely well for Sega and Paramount, though there's no doubt in my mind that Sonic 3 is going to happen. It probably is, though. The big question is whether Jim Carrey will return to play Dr. Robotnik. To me, I feel like that was like one of the highlights of the movies, to be exact. Jim Carrey playing Dr. Robotnik, though, and it certainly builds up hype for that Knuckles that Sonic spin-off, the Knuckles, for Paramount Plus, the Paramount streaming service, though. So I'm a little curious to see how this is all going to be playing out, which ties into the next one, which is the report is that apparently the Super Mario movie that was supposed to come out this year has been delayed till 2023, though. Basically, Miyamoto sat on a treat speaking to Chris Pratt and the folks at Illumination Universal, and they decided to make the decision to delay it, though. Which, I mean, that's okay if they want to, do some extra work on it to try iron things out, though. But at the same time, though, we really haven't seen any trailer or anything like that, to be exact, and I can't help but feel to some extent the success of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 may have put some pressure on Nintendo and Illumination Studios and Universal to consider maybe best to delay it till next year, or maybe take some more, have more time of it in the oven to iron out some details. I think obviously they want to get this movie right, though, and let's not forget that the success of Sonic, I think, may have put some pressure on them, though. We also learned that supposedly Ubisoft is shutting down its online service for 90 older games, although there has been some reports that Ubisoft has responded, saying, sort of giving their own take on the situation, to be exact, though. We also learned that Next Level Games is seeking new talents for their future Nintendo project, though. We know they're working on the latest entry in the Mario Strikers series that's coming to the Nintendo Switch, though. No word on what that game might be, though. I'm down with either a brand new IP for them or Luigi's Mansion 4, but honestly, I would love to see Punch-Out come back, though. I would like to see Next Level Game do a sequel to 2009's Punch-Out for the Wii, though. I think that game gave you an idea what Next Level Game could do, and I would like for them to introduce new characters. I think Disco Kid is a step in the right direction, but I would love to see Next Level Game take on another Punch-Out game, but we'll see what that next project might be, though. We also learned that Legends of Mana will be having an anime launch this year known as Legend of Mana, the Teardrop Crystal, though. No word from a Western release at this time, though, but given how well that Trials of Mana did well here in the West, though, I wouldn't be surprised if we hear it being brought over, though. We know they did an anime based on The World Ends With You, so I wouldn't, although I don't know if that has made it over to the West yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if this one makes it to the West, though. So my fingers are crossed on that one, though. We also learned that Xbox and Bethesda has announced their showcase for June 12th, though, regardless that E3, even though E3 is not happening this year, though. I think one of the big ones going to be from that showcase, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of surprise announcements, is Starfield. Up to this point, we've only seen snippets of concept art and just one trailer for it, but we haven't really seen actual gameplay or anything like that. I'm hoping we see some gameplay of Starfield, though. I do think that expectations are truly high, and I think Bethesda and Microsoft, especially with Todd Howard, they're really going to have to knock it out with Starfield. They're going to have to show of how well this game is going to play and everything like that. Again, the idea of a Fallout or Skyrim in space sounds neat. It has the potential, but after seeing how Todd Howard and the folks handled Fallout 76 when it first launched, though, I have my concerns, though, okay? Not saying I want the game to fail, I just have concerns at this time. But we'll have to wait and see on June 12th what Microsoft and Bethesda is going to show, though. We also learned that supposedly Yuji Naka has now spoken about the whole situation surrounding last year's Balan Wonderworld in terms of a lawsuit he filed against Square Enix. And basically, he was removed about 6 months before the game launched, to be exact, though. So it's very interesting to see him speak about this, though. I mean, the whole situation around Balan Wonderworld was a mess. I mean, I remember seeing a video about what happened to see exactly how this whole train wreck basically happened. It's really a shame what happened to that game, though, because it could have been a spiritual successor to like Nights into Dreams and all that, but unfortunately the whole situation just fell apart, unfortunately, that. In non-gaming related stuff, though, this one was reported last week. I didn't get to report on it, which is a little bit unfortunate, though. And that is that Netflix is cracking down on, supposedly, or they're starting to crack down on password sharing, to be exact. That basically giving your password to someone else to basically access Netflix and all that stuff, though. This, to me, it's going to be controversial for some folks out there, and not everyone is going to be happy about it. And to some degree, I kind of understand that to some extent. But on the other hand, and I know some may disagree with me on this, though, is that I'm looking at it from Netflix perspective, though. I can understand why they are doing this, because the situation is much different in regards of streaming and all that stuff. When Netflix first came out, they were like the new kid on the block, though, and all that stuff. They weren't facing the kind of competition that they are today, especially with competitions like HBO Max, Disney Plus, Hulu, Amazon Video, Crunchyroll, to be exact. So the competition is much different now than when Netflix originally started, though. We haven't heard other streaming service did this yet, but they might be taking a wait-and-see approach to see what Netflix does, though. I do think Netflix is going to have to be really careful how they approach this, to be exact, though. So yeah, I can understand why not everyone is happy about this, but I can also understand why Netflix is doing this. We also learned that one of the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, if I'm saying his name correctly, has now purchased Twitter for $44 billion. He is basically known for making supposedly trolling, but an advocate for free speech and all that stuff. I would say my approach to him buying Twitter is more like I'm going to take a wait and see approach, to be exact, to see how this all plays out, though. That said, I do think it does raise a whole lot of questions, ranging from a lot of issues Twitter has faced, from like misinformation, cyberbullying, trolling, death threat, encouraging violence or encouraging political violence. So there's a whole lot of questions that need to be answered. And right now, at least from my view, though, Elon Musk has not done a good job trying to answer those questions. That said, for now, it's a wait-and-see approach, to be exact. And last but not least, though, we saw the second trailer for Jurassic World Domination that will be out on June 10th, though. I'm looking forward to seeing this movie. Supposedly, this is the conclusion of what started with Jurassic Park, though, and it's very nice to see the past and present actors in this movie, to be exact. I'm curious to see how this is all going to play out, and who knows? I mean, this may be set the start of maybe an end of one trilogy and maybe a beginning of the other. I personally don't think they should reboot Jurassic Park, though. I don't think they should go that route, though. I think if they are going to do another Jurassic Park movie, it should be a continuation, should be a new set of trilogy in that same universe. But at least that's my take on it, though. Okay, with the quick my 2 cent part now done, we'll get started with our first story, and this one has to do with Ubisoft, particularly with acquisitions and all that. Now, one of the surprises we saw currently in this generation of consoles was basically the announcement of Microsoft buying Bethesda. This was before the launch of the Xbox Series X and S, to be exact, though. Many speculated that that decision may be as one way to sort of drive up sales for that system, though. That, and of course, pushing for Game Pass that Microsoft is known for, though. Since then, we have seen other acquisitions been done before. Although Microsoft has made purchases of acquisitions before the Xbox Series S and X, we've also seen acquisitions from companies like Sony when they purchased Insomniac Game, and then recently we learned about basically them purchasing Bungie. We then also learned Nintendo recently has purchased, though, Next Level Games, to be exact, though. Well, now we're starting to learn that the possibility that Ubisoft could be the next studio that could face, could be up for grabs, though. In terms of who will grab them, remains to be seen. In an article published by Game Industry Biz, it reads that, quote, according to Bloomberg's anonymous sources closest to the matter, says several equity firms have been studying the Assassin's Creed and Far Cry publisher. Among them are said to be Blackstone, which has previously invested in a range of firms such as mobile specialists Liftoff and Vulgar, or VUNGLE, and KKR, which has made multiple investments in Epic Games, as well as the backing the likes of AppLovin and Google. However, Bloomberg sources also clarify that Ubisoft has yet to enter any serious discussion with potential buyers, whether these companies will actually make an offer and whether Ubisoft would be interested. In an email statement to Bloomberg, Ubisoft declined to comment on takeover interest, although it added it has built a strong portfolio and is well positioned to take up such opportunities. Bloomberg's report, Ubisoft market value stood at 4.8 billion euros, $5.2 billion on Friday. However, the publisher's share price has risen since the initial report. Ubisoft stock was high at 85.8 euros per shares back in January 2021. Its previous high was even further back in October 2018, but has declined over the past 15 months to 33.97 euros on Friday. After the report was published, it rose to 13% to 38.25 euros by the end of trading. This morning, it has risen further, or a couple days ago, further to 40.61 euros, up nearly 20% since prior to the news. Now, is it possible Ubisoft could be open for acquisition? It's a possibility, and it wouldn't surprise me if we hear about Ubisoft getting buyer or anything like that. Who would buy them? That remains to be seen. A lot of people are pointing to the obvious folks such as Tencent, which has been investing in a lot of companies these days, although there are still some folks who find it a bit controversial of a Chinese firm being involved into it. To be exact, though, there have also been cases of possibility that Sony might buy them, although some suspect that they don't have the money to do it. A lot of people think Microsoft could buy them, considering the amount of money they spent to purchase Activision Blizzard, which just recently the shareholders approved of the acquisition, so we'll have to wait and see how that all plays out, though. But given some of the controversies that might have emerged recently, such as some lawmakers jumping in on Microsoft purchasing it, though, there is a concern of whether Microsoft wants to go through that kind of stuff again. There's no doubt that Microsoft has said that this isn't the end of acquisitions, but if they were to purchase Ubisoft, I think for some that might consider the whole monopoly issue might pop up again, to be exact. Then again, you could say the same thing about Sony or other companies, though. And we have heard about Ubisoft fighting off a takeover before against French entertainment Vidal, if I'm saying that name correctly, though, or to be exact, they fought off that acquisition. So we do wonder if they would do something similar like that, though. But we'll have to wait and see how this all plays out, though. Maybe Ubisoft will get purchased, maybe they won't, though. But either way, though, that doesn't mean this is the end of acquisitions. Don't be surprised if we hear more studios looking to be purchased, though, whether it's by Sony, Microsoft, or even Nintendo for that matter, though. Though maybe not as much with Nintendo, to be exact, though. Hey, it wouldn't surprise me if I hear them buy a studio to be exact. So another studio to be exact. They did it with Retro. They did it with Next Level Games. Wouldn't surprise me if they purchase more though. So overall though, it's going to be very interesting to see if Ubisoft does get purchased and from who to be exact though. And I wouldn't be surprised if we hear more acquisitions though. And while I do think Microsoft probably has the money and they could buy Ubisoft, I do think it does raise the whole monopoly issue to be exact. So time will ultimately tell who if an acquisition does come forward, and it will be very interesting to see who does end up buying Ubisoft though. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll get to part 2, and this one has to do with the NPD results for March 2022. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of my 2 cent video for this week. And for this one, we're going to be taking a look at the NPDs, particularly March 2022 NPDs. And there are some interesting games that sort of made it in. One that continues to dominate even as we speak, though. Another, and of course, in terms of the consoles wise, though, it seems as though the Xbox is doing very well, while the PS5, I won't go as far as saying it's flopping, it certainly is not, though, but it does seem to indicate that there may have to be some kind of course correction, or Sony may have to rethink certain things, to be exact. In terms of the games, though, this one from VentureBeat, in terms of the best-selling game so far, or at least the March one, we have Elden Ring at number 1, Pokemon Legends Arceus as number 2, Horizon Forbidden West, or Horizon 2 at number 3, Gran Turismo 7 at number 4, Call of Duty Vanguard at number 5, Madden NFL 22 at number 6, Kirby and the Forgotten Land at number 7, Mario Kart 8 at number 8, no pun intended, Dying Light 2 Stay Human at number 9, FIFA 22 at number 10, MLB The Show 22 at number 11, Monster Hunter Rise at number 12, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales at number 13, Minecraft at number 14, Mario, oh, is that it? Yeah, best-selling game, yeah, oh yeah, Mario Party Superstar at, wait, am I reading this? Games of, oh yeah, the best-selling game, yeah, Mario Party Superstar at number 15, God of War 2018 at number 16, Total War, Warhammer 3 at number 17, Animal Crossing New Horizons at number 18, WWE 2K22 at number 19, and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate at number 20 though. So, oh yeah, that the best games so far of 2022 though. I must have read the wrong one by mistake, but the best-selling games for the month of March though was basically, let me get it up. Okay, there we go. We have Elden Ring obviously at number 1, Gran Turismo 7 at number 2, Kirby and the Forgotten Land at number 3, MLB The Show 22 at number 4, Horizon Forbidden West at number 5, Pokemon Legend Arceus at number 6, WWE 2K22 at number 7, Mario Kart 8 at number 8, Call of Duty Vanguard at number 9, Strangers of Paradise Final Fantasy Origins at number 10, Tiny Tina Wonderland at number 11, Ghostwire Tokyo at number 12, FIFA 22 at number 13, Minecraft at number 14, Madden NFL 22 at number 15, Triangle Strategy at number 16, Mario Party Superstar at number 18, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Mario Party at 17 though, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate at number 18, Animal Crossing New Horizons at number 19, and Assassin's Creed Valhalla at number 20 though. Already read you the best-selling games of 22 so far. Overall, the top best-selling games over the last 12 months. Call of Duty Vanguard at number 1, Elden Rings at number 2, Madden NFL 22 at number 3, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl at number 4, Battlefield 2042 at number 5, Far Cry 6 at number 6, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War at number 7, FIFA 22 at number 8, Resident Evil Village at number 9, and MLB The Show 21 at number 10. Over in terms of Nintendo's best-selling games of March 2022, we got Kirby at the Forgotten Land at number 1, Pokemon Legends Arceus at number 2, Mario Kart 8 at number 3, Triangle Strategy at number 4, Mario Party Superstar at number 5, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate at number 6, Animal Crossing New Horizon at number 7, Super Mario 3D World at number 8, Rune Factory 5 at number 9, and New Super Mario Bros. At number 10. In terms of the best-selling PlayStation games of March 2022, we have Elden Ring at number 1, Gran Turismo 7 at number 2, MLB The Show 22 at number 3, Horizon 2 Forbidden West at number 4, WWE 2K22 at number 5, Strangers of Paradise at Final Fantasy Origin at number 6, Call of Duty Vanguard at number 7, Tiny Tina Wonderland at number 8, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales at number 9, and Ghostwire Tokyo at number 10. Over on the Xbox platforms, we have Elden Ring at number 1, Call of Duty Vanguard at number 2, WWE 2K22 at number 3, Tiny Tina's Wonderland at number 4, Assassin's Creed Valhalla at number 5, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War at number 6, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 at number 7, Forza Horizon 5 at number 8, Madden NFL 22 at number 9, and FIFA 22 at number 10. Over in terms of the hardware, in terms of it though, it seems as though that the Xbox is doing much better than what we're seeing with the PS5, and this has to do with stock being available though. According to an article from Pure Xbox, it reads that the Microsoft's latest earning results have been published for quarter end of March 31st, 2022. It reads, Xbox content and servers grew up by 4% and was once again driven by growth of first-party titles and Xbox Game Pass subscription. It was also partially set off by decline from third-party releases. The company's hardware revenue also increased during this time by 14%, thanks to continued demand for Xbox Series X and S. For the same period, Microsoft revenue was $49.4 billion, an increase of 18%, and its net income is $16.7 billion, up to about 13% though. The CEO recently praised that the Xbox was in the market lead for 2 quarters in a row, and market lead among next-gen console in the US, Canada, UK, and Western Europe though. Over here at Push Square, they kind of point out a different situation. According to them, they're saying, quote, PS5 stock woes appear to be getting worse, not better, with Sony's next-gen system landing dead last in the latest NPD reports. While main competitor Microsoft was able to break a March record and Nintendo Switch continues to perform as consistent as ever, the PS5 finds itself floundering in North America, not it's worth underlining though a lack of interest, but due to a series of shortfalls in supplies that has become a real problem. And I think that's been one of the main issues Sony has been facing though, and that is basically that it's just hard to find a PS5 at this time though. I was lucky to get one when I waited in line at a GameStop last year, before Christmas to be exact though. So I was lucky to find one, but not everyone has that luck though. A lot of people seem to are having somewhat of a hard time trying to find a PS5 at this moment, to be exact. I'm hoping the situation will change this year, though. I do hope that it becomes much easier, but right now it seems as though you have a better luck seeing not a Series S, more likely a Series X. Although we have been seeing some Series X start to pop up, it seems that Series S is more of that popping up in a Nintendo Switch than you do with a PS5 though. I do think it does kind of question some of Sony's strategy, or whatever strategy they originally had though. Do I think some of it is COVID? Yes, I think some of it was COVID, and I kind of think that kind of threw a wrench, and that was beyond Sony's control, but some of it also falls on Sony as well. So is it possible they may have to rethink some of their strategy? I mean, that's a possibility, to be exact. But does this mean that the PS5 is failing? I don't think so. I don't think this means the PS5 is failing, though, but I've said this before and I'll say it again. I just feel this generation is going to be a lot different, and I think it's because of the fact that Nintendo and Microsoft are a bit more aggressive than they were during the PS4, Xbox One, and the Wii U era. So overall, Elden Ring continues to dominate as we speak, though. Kirby and Forgotten Land and certainly entered in a nice number. I'm glad that game is doing very well, though. And it seems as though Microsoft is definitely doing great with the Xbox Series X and S and the Game Pass, though. And as for Sony, I won't say the PS5 is failing. It certainly isn't. But it's clear Sony may have to rethink some of their strategy going forward with the PS5. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll get to part 3. And this one has to do with what was shown at PAX East 2022. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 3 of our My 2 Cent video. And for this one, we're going to be talking about basically what was shown at PAX East 2022, though. So this happened this week, to be exact, though. And supposedly it was a live indoor event, though, which is certainly nice considering how some of those events couldn't happen because of COVID, though. And while I didn't get to see all PAX X, though, I did get to read about exactly what they showed, and there were certainly a lot of games that kind of caught my attention. So several articles basically pointed out what was shown here. Some of them we got ranging from games like, say, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge, Curse of Golf, Singular, Cult of Lamb, Lego Bricktail, Rusted Moss, Potionomics, if I'm saying the name correctly, though, Demon Thought, if I'm saying the name correctly, though, WrestleQuest, though. Other games we had were Doomkeeper. Let's see, any other ones? Oop, that's not what I wanted to click on, my bad. And games like, say, Source of Madness, though, Evil West, Dolmen, the last ORICRU, apologize if I'm not saying the name correctly, which is a sort of a Souls-like experience, which is sort of a basically a multiplayer type of game. Others we've seen are been like Souls-like game, though. Moon Scares. I think I mentioned Doomkeeper. Any others that I forget, though, to be exact, though? I think that may have been the ones that I have. Oh yeah, the last. I think I mentioned that one, though. Teeny King is another one that I mentioned. The Last Hero of Nostalgic, Singular, and all. So basically, there were certainly No Place for Bravely, though. So apparently they did show off a lot of the games, though, to be exact. As for the ones that sort of clicked with me the most, I would say games like Evil West certainly has caught my attention since it's being developed by Flying Wild Hog that did the Shadow Warriors reboot games, though, to be exact, though. Still somewhat iffy with Shadow Warriors 3. I'm certainly having issues with that one, but the first and second one were kind of great, so I am kind of curious to see how Evil West plays out, though. We know that one is supposedly aimed for this year, though. No word on any systems, to be exact, but I would assume most likely PS5, Xbox Series S and X, and PC for that matter, though. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge. What more can I say about that one? I grew up during the 90s. They played the arcade brawler games like Ninja Turtles 2, 3, Turtles in Time, to be exact. This one feels like it's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 5. And being the fact that it's being developed by the same folks who did Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, it certainly is nice, though. Not to mention April O'Neil and Splinter are playable characters. So that certainly is definitely nice. I consider this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 5, so that one's definitely on my list, though. Games like Dolmen certainly sounds interesting, though. Supposedly it's a Souls-like type of game. That one I might consider taking a look at if it comes to like the Series X and S or the PS5. I assume that is the case, though. Another one, basically, The Last Hero Nostalgia, if I'm saying the name correctly, that one from Over the Moon Games, another Souls-like game. That one I might take a look at though. Singular certainly is one I'll keep an eye out for. To be exact though, let's see what else. Wrestling Quest, that one looks kind of interesting in a way though. And even though I'm not a wrestling fan or anything like that, the fact that this game is a mixture of, it plays like an RPG. In fact, it reminds me of the game that came out, Citizens of Earth, in a way. It's you sort of get that unique style to it, to be exact. So it's certainly one I will definitely keep an eye out for as well. Again, I'm not a wrestling fan, but it's certainly one that's kind of caught my attention though. The other one, Potionomics, though, looks kind of interesting. If that ever comes to console, we know that's coming to PC. We know that's coming to PC, to be exact though. No word on a console version at this time, but who knows? They might bring that over. Since it's from supposedly Xseed, though, I think there's a good chance we'll probably see it come to consoles, to be exact though. Demon Thrall from Nintendo Switch, from Devolver Digital. That certainly is one I'll keep an eye out for as well. So, and even games like Cult of Lamb and Curse of Golf are some ones that I probably will be keeping an eye out too. So overall, I would say there were some pretty good announcements made at PAX East 2022 though. For me, the big highlight has to be the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Say what you will, I grew up playing Ninja Turtles. I grew up watching the cartoons, collecting the action figures. I remember playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game for the NES. So yeah, I grew up watching Ninja Turtles. So that one is definitely high on my list, to be exact though. But I'm sure there are plenty of other games out there that some folks are looking at. And Evil West, that one might be interesting to take a look at as well though. I'm curious to see how that one is going to play when that finally is released and all. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll get to our fourth and final part, and this one has to do with Reggie fils-aime, the former president of Nintendo America, speaking at SXSW. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with our fourth and final part of our My 2 Cent video for this week. And for this one, we're going to be taking a look at Reggie fils-aime, who is at South X Southwest in Austin, Texas this week, though. Now, we've been hearing about Reggie. He's been doing a lot of stuff since he has retired as president of Nintendo of America. He was at one point one of the CEOs at GameStop before he stepped down because there were some conflicted issues, to basically doing an interview with Phil Spencer, in charge of the Xbox division at Microsoft, and learning the history of how the process went through to get that system made and all that stuff. Well, recently Reggie was over at South X Southwest and was recently interviewed, and he made some interesting comments. Some of the comments was from stuff regarding basically how, in terms of his time was working with late Shigeru Iwata, to his thoughts on blockchains, to even his blockchains and all, to even this whole situation with Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard. In several different articles, this one from Nintendo Life, though, it talks about how he had to reevaluate his life after Iwata's death. So this is a comment that he said though, quote, "So my boss, my mentor, my friend Shigeru Iwata passed away in 2015. He and I were just about the same age, and he passed away from a form of cancer. And you know, he and I worked together at that point for over 10 years. So when that happened, when that touched so close to the bone, it really created a need for you to step up and evaluate, what am I doing? Am I having fun? Am I doing things that are really fulfilling? And I was having a lot of fun at Nintendo, but I wanted to do more. I wanted to share my learning on a much broader stage like this. I wanted to help young executives go on their own pathway. I want to do board service. I want to spend more time with Corel University. When you're running a company, Nintendo America was the biggest part of global Nintendo. Half of Nintendo sales and profits. When you're running the company, you can't do all these things. Reggie went on to clarify that he needed the company to be on a positive path ahead of his departure, along with ensuring that great people were in place to steer the company forward, though. So it certainly that must have hit him hard when the late Shigeru Iwata passed away in 2015, which to a lot of Nintendo fans was very shocking to hear that happen, to be exact, though. I mean, even if you did not 100% agree with all of Shigeru Iwata's decisions he made at Nintendo, and when he was in charge of Nintendo, though, you still had some respect for the guy, and he did give off somewhat of a positive vibe to a certain degree. And I also have a lot of respect for him, especially when the Wii U was not doing very well at all, that he was willing to take a pay cut, which is certainly more than I could say of a lot of CEOs these days, though, especially in case in companies like, say, Activision Blizzard with Bobby Kotick and the whole, because they didn't make all the money in the world, they are going to lay off several employees, though, while give themselves a bonus, though, to be exact. So that's one of the many reasons why I have a lot of respect for Shigeru Iwata, though. So very interesting to hear how that kind of had an impact on Reggie Fils-aime, though. Another thing that he mentioned during his interview was basically the whole issue of blockchains or NFTs, and we've seen sort of controversy surrounding a lot of that stuff, as it has come off as ranging from environmental issues to basically coming off as very anti-consumer, though. And so far, a lot of companies really have not done a good job trying to promote it in a way and try to explain why it isn't anti-consumer at all. Well, Reggie Fils-aime basically is a big believer on blockchains and play to own, as long as it makes sense for the player. According to a quote, in terms of regarding blockchains, here's what he had to say. Quote, let me get that up. All right, so I'm a big believer in blockchains. I think it's a really compelling technology. I'm also a believer in the concept of play to own within video games. And I say this as a player where I may have invested 50 hours, 100 hours, or 300 hours in a game, and when I'm ready to move on to something else, wouldn't it be great to monetize what I built? I bet I have some takers here today if I wanted to sell my Animal Crossing island from the latest Nintendo Switch version. I like to be able to monetize that. Blockchain technology, enable it in a code, would enable me to do that. He also clarified it has to be thoughtful and consumer friendly. And he said, quote, now I'll say that in context of it needs to make sense for players. It can't just be approached by the developers that it's interested or in a way for them to, as a development entry to make more money. In the end, it's got to be good for the players, but I see an opportunity. So in some ways, though, I do think Reggie kind of raises a good point. To be exact, though, if we're going to do something like blockchains or NFT, it has to be done so in a consumer-friendly way, though. And unfortunately, at this time, though, we're not seeing that, though. So until we're at a point where those kind of stuff like blockchains and NFTs can be consumer-friendly, it's going to be a hard sell for some folks out there. Could that happen one day? Yeah, I mean, it could happen. I can't rule it out, but time will ultimately tell if that technology has advanced to a point where it is a consumer-friendly approach. And last but not least, though, he did basically make comments in regards of Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard and seems to sort of support this approach, to be exact. In an article from Pure Xbox, in terms of the purchase, though, here's what he had to say. Quote, the purchase of Activision by Microsoft, I think, was a great distress buy. The stock price had lost a third of what, with all of the cultural issues that the company has had. It was a fantastic purchase of King mobile game Call of Duty, just a fantastic purchase. In regards of basically the CEO in terms of whether Bobby Kotick should stay on or not, here's what he had to say. Quote, look, That's going to be a decision my good friend Phil Spencer and Natalie, or Satya, Satya, makes. That's not my call. But as an executive, I know that leaders set the culture, and that Activision Blizzard was a bad culture. It's not just Activision. Regardless, the gaming industry has had a number of these types of situations. And I kind of have to agree with Reggie on that point as well. There have been certain issues of how leadership has mishandled a lot of things, ranging from workplace cultures to the issue of crunch time as well. So I do think he raises a good point. Reggie fils-aime raised a good point on that, and that kind of culture needs to change. There needs to be a better environment in the gaming industry as a whole, to be exact, though, in terms of treating people more respectfully, though, address the issue of crunch and all that stuff, and even letting developers decide whether unionization is the right direction to go or not, though. Okay, again, they got to weigh the pros and cons to see if that's a direction they need to go. Whether Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard is a good deal at the end of the day or not remains to be seen. But for right now, he seems that it is a good thing, though. So overall, I would say it's a very interesting interview. Reggie fils-aime had to say about Southwest at SXSW. The interesting about the death of Shakira Wada certainly had an impact on him. The blockchain, he has some valid points, and I think about in terms of Activision Blizzard, it's also very interesting indeed. So it's a very interesting interview Reggie gave, though. Okay, this concludes this My 2 Cent video for this week. And again, these are my opinion. What are yours? What are your thoughts about Ubisoft possibly opening the doors for acquisitions? Do you think that could be a good thing? Do you think that's going to be a bad thing, though? Who do you think should buy Ubisoft? What are your thoughts about the NPD charts, though? Are you glad Elden Ring is number 1? Are you glad to see the Xbox is doing very well? The Xbox brand is doing very well. Do you think Sony needs to make some improvements in regards to the PS5 shortage, though? What are your thoughts about some of the games showed at PAX East 2022? Were you were you impressed with some of the games they showed? Were you not impressed, to be exact? What games kind of stuck out with you? And what are your thoughts about the interview Reggie gave at SXSW? Do you think it was an interesting interview? Do you think he raised some valid points about blockchains, to be exact? Though, do you think he was right about the whole situation with Activision Blizzard and all? As always, sound off on the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And if you do like this video, I hope you hit the like button. I would appreciate it. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you do, make sure you hit the bell icon for notifications of any new videos I put up. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to, and feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You could do it through PayPal me or Patreon. Links will be in the description of this video, assuming you're watching this on YouTube. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that'll be soon. Until then, from Southern California, wish you all a good day then. Bye!